Hey guys, this is Shadow Drone here. Welcome back. Hope you guys have been good. It's Sunday, late afternoon. Weekends seem to just fly by lately. Anyway, I am currently working on a new project which is called the X-1 Spyder, and it's basically a model that I'm working on as far as using my 3D printer. As you can see, the center module right now is this here. Okay, and it's based on a rough design of a F450 or 550 DJI. Okay, so normally, if you guys are familiar with those, they have the centerpiece and then they got the red arms and the white arms coming out. Well, what I've done is I've printed this one, okay, but I've made a little change, or actually a modification. Instead of using the standard arms that come out, which only come out to about right here, okay, I went ahead and made an adapter which allows me to use 16 millimeter carbon fiber tubes, as you can see, and these are 500 millimeters coming out. Okay, so they're a lot longer. And what I did was I went ahead and flipped it sideways to mount the retracting landing gear, which is what these are. I ended up ordering these online. And instead of using the rubber stopper, I used some foam stoppers on some other landing gear that I had. I think it looks cooler. Anyway, so right now what I'm doing is I'm putting a raised platform, which you can see here, which basically sits above the screws here. So it's a level platform, and right now it's being epoxied. And this is going to be the first model that I'm actually going to be able to use a Pixhawk on. So as you know from the previous video, the Pixhawk has been a pain in the ass. And so what I've done is, the previous Pixhawk I bought one of those sets for 112 bucks on eBay from China, which basically had the Pixhawk, the GPS, and a bunch of all the other little odds and ends, you know, to give it a full system. Telemetry, which is basically these units right here, which work, by the way. Okay, these work. So I'm reusing those. I went ahead and bought a Holy Bro Pixhawk, which is right here, because I could never get the other Pixhawk to work. So I figured, okay, maybe I got a faulty Pixhawk, right? All right. So I went ahead and sent the other one back like a year ago and gave up on this and just stuck with DJI. Well, DJI, the version 2s, the NASAs are pretty old, and these things are pretty awesome. You can put all kinds of sensors on these things, obstacle avoidance, terrain scanning sensors, and you name it. Anyway, so I figured, okay, I was going to return the original setup on eBay, but it had to go back to China, and they just gave me a refund and told me to keep the old stuff, which, in my opinion, the Pixhawk didn't work. And at that point, I thought, screw it, I'm never going to do it again. Well, I decided one day I'm going to give Pixhawk one last chance. So I ordered a brand name, which is Holy Bro, which is this one. It's a 2.4.8. And that was just the Pixhawk, which is this right here. Okay, it was 70 bucks. So anyway, I went ahead, powered it up, and I used the existing GPS antenna, which is this one, that came with the other Pixhawk, okay, because it did pick up a 3D GPS fix, but it would never calibrate. Well, even with the new Pixhawk, the only thing that calibrated was the Pixhawk this time. Last time, the Pixhawk didn't work at all. So the Pixhawk calibrated, but the external GPS antenna didn't. So then I thought, well, maybe this is bad too. Sure enough, it is. I ended up buying a SE100 3D Robotics high performance GPS antenna, which is the one you see here. And the white X in there lights up green when it gets full GPS lock, which is actually kind of cool. And I figured for 20 bucks, I'll give it a shot. And I plugged it into the Pixhawk, and sure enough, within 30 seconds, I had both compasses tuned. It was like, oh my God, it was perfect. So I also ordered an X8R receiver. That's my go-to receiver. Has been for a while. All my models run the same receiver. Cool thing about that is they're all basically the same frequency, which is kind of cool. So as you switch model, there's no inconvenience when it comes to setting up telemetry and stuff. And this is a telemetry receiver. And so right now, this Pixhawk has been calibrated, has been set up, software has been written on it, and GPS has been calibrated and everything else. Now it's going to go on that frame. And then I'm going to add the telemetry and all that stuff and then get it all tweaked and try a test flight. Now I am going to use motors I currently have, which are 940 kVs. They're higher performance than the low torque ones. But I ain't going to spend a lot of money on this right now. So I'm going to use those motors since I got them, and I got the ESCs already connected to them. Basically, I'm just going to make the wiring go in the inside and then just make some quick connects. So when I get the new motors, if I decide to go with a better motor, all I have to do is take the motors off, plug the new motors in, and I'm good to go. So this way I'll at least be able to test the frame and the Pixhawk. You know what I'm saying? With the least amount of money involved here. So right now, this Pixhawk is working. And if this works out, then I think my go-to flight controller will be and continue to be a Pixhawk. Just based on the with all the stuff that you can do with this thing. This thing is amazing. Okay, it's an all-in-one. Airplanes, copters, tanks, submarines, airplanes. I mean, anything that's RC, this will work for. All you do is put the correct software on it. With a mission planner software. So wish me luck. I'm going to make this my next project, so we'll see what happens. All right, guys, take care. Later.